Halloween. October 31st is Halloween, a day celebrated in many countries around the world. But do you know the origins of this spooky occasion? The origins of Halloween. When you think of Halloween, image of carved pumpkins, elaborate costumes, and children knocking on doors asking for candy probably come to mind. If you think of a country that celebrates Halloween, the United States is likely the first one that pops up. While Americans and Canadians have embraced Halloween with great enthusiasm, the holiday's origin actually traces back to the 16th century Celtic tradition of Ireland, Scotland, and England.
Of celebrating Halloween on October 31st comes from the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain. Samhain marked the Celtic New Year and was celebrated on November 1st, as it marked the end of summer and the harvest season, symbolizing the transition from life to death. It was believed that on this night the boundary between the living and the dead became blurred, and ghosts returned to earth. People lit large bonfires, wore special costumes made from animal skins, and performed rituals to protect themselves from wandering spirits and the coming winter. In 609 AD, the Catholic Church established All Saints' Day on November 1st, and later, in 1000 AD, added All Souls' Day on November 2nd. With these changes, the church also moved the celebration of All Hallows' Eve or Halloween to the night before October 31st.
The pumpkin tradition. Carving faces into vegetables to ward off evil spirits dates back to the Celtic festival of Samhain. The Celts used vegetables like turnip and potatoes, but it was Irish immigrants in the United States during the 1800s who popularized the pumpkin as the main carving vegetable. This tradition is rooted in the story of a man named Jack who tricked the devil and was condemned to roam the earth with only a hollowed-out turnip to light his way. In America, pumpkins proved much easier to carve, and thus the familiar jack-o'-lantern we see today was born.
Fancy dress and costumes. The Celts feared the ghosts that roamed the earth during Samhain. To protect themselves, they wore masks to blend it with the spirits. They hoped that any ghosts they encountered would mistake them for fellow spirits and leave them alone. In early America, Native Americans and European settlers celebrated the end of the harvest season, but they didn't observe Halloween as we know it today. When Irish immigrants arrived in the US, their traditions began to influence the American harvest festivals, and Halloween began to take shape. By the late 19th century, people tried to shift the focus away from ghosts and religious practices, and instead, Halloween became more of community celebration. This is why today, Americans wear a wide range of costumes, not just scary ones like witches and ghosts, but anything from superheroes to pop culture figures.
Trick or treat. The tradition of trick-or-treating also has its roots in Europe, particularly in England. During the time of All Souls' Day, there was common for poor people to go door to door asking for souls cakes, small cakes made with spices and raisins in exchange for prayers for the dead. This practice, known as coin a sowing, was prevalent for countries until the early 20th century. When the tradition was carried over to America, it evolved into the modern-day practice of children knocking on doors asking for candy. In fact, trick-or-treating has become so popular that a quarter of all the candy sold in the US is purchased for Halloween. In recent years,
Halloween around the world. Halloween has become a major commercial event in the United States, second only to Christmas in terms of spending. However, Halloween is also celebrated in other countries, though it's not as big as it is in the US, even in the countries where the traditions originated. For example, Mexico celebrates the Day of the Dead from October 31st to November the 2nd, honoring the deceased loved one. Some elements of the Day of the Dead, such as giving gifts of sugar skulls, have begun to merge with Halloween traditions. As a result, Halloween continues to evolve, blending the ancient settler customs with new cultural influences.
In recent years, Halloween has become a more global phenomenon, with many countries adopting certain aspects for the celebration, such as costume parties, trick-or-treating, and pumpkin carving. Whether rooted in ancient art ritual or more modern celebration, Halloween remains a night of fun, pride, and community.